Welcome home. We are WNST, AM 1570, Towson, Baltimore. We are Baltimore positively out here in Timonium, Maryland, in beautiful Costas. Oh, look at that. Fresh water. It's really vodka. No, it's not. Making that up. Deep Eddie's not sponsoring the show yet, but when they do, it'll be vodka. We are out here on behalf of our friends at the Maryland Lottery and our friends at Curio Wellness, Liberty Pure Solutions. I tell you, Todd Schuler's sitting in right now, and he's kind of like rumbling a little bit because he's like, how do I go in and follow you and Steve Rouse? Easy, you just be you. He's done radio before. He's you've done whole dissertations in Annapolis, right? Like you stood up in front of people. You're a stranger to public speaking, Todd Schuler, right?
I've spoken before, but I mean Steve Rouse and Nestor Aparicio at the same time. It was awesome. It was like 1999 in here.
You fanboyed us.
I know. I had to tell everybody I was Mickey Coachella. I didn't know what else to do. Like I felt like I had to blend in.
You know what the really weird part is from a guy you're a little younger than me, right?
Yeah.
I'm 56.
48.
Yeah, you're a lot younger than me.
All right,
you just met the last two radio stars that are ever going to be here, right? There's not going to be any more radio stars in Baltimore. Like literally, I don't know what else to say. And not that I'm the star. I mean, he had the 12 share. I didn't. But we're at a point where Jack hasn't made any stars. You know, it's just not. It's not that world anymore.
There's
right?
a division of media to the point where, like, when you guys were doing your thing, I mean, like I told Steve Rouse, I used to listen to him every morning coming in, and I used to listen to WNST all the time, you know, like, and everybody did, like, you know, water cooler stuff.
No one listened
talk
to my
about
show.
it.
No,
nobody ever listened.
Hey, you told me something really nice, and Mark Miller, if you're listening, damn it, we've got listeners. All 5 of them got to him last time you were on your Pizza John's. You said you got more feedback.
I got incredible feedback. Can I shout out my man Dave at Palmisano's in Baldwin? He's like your biggest super fan in the world.
He's got great dressing.
He has the best Italian
I want your dressing, dude.
You have to ask special for it. They don't always have it in the store, and they're, you know. But Dave's Italian dressing.
They went away on weekends too, right?
They did, but they're still there, you know, for breakfast and lunch, and it's right in the neighborhood.
I need more sponsors. Anybody who wants to sponsor the show out there, please. It's beautiful out there. I'll drive out there. It's right by the vineyard, right?
Oh yeah, it's right by Dijon and Bordy, and that's kind of
God's country.
God's country. It's a beautiful place to be. It's
a lot of Republicans out there.
Yeah, you know,
it is.
They're there, but you know
You're not one of them.
No,
that's what I'm saying.
I'm not one of them, but they're out there too. They can hang out a little bit. Right. They're not too bad.
So what do you want to talk about, man? I mean, I invited you over. I'm figuring like we're here at Costas. First things first, the new digs.
Dude.
You frequented this place. You are no stranger to this, and your daughter's listening. He's had a few beers here, Cece, at the bar at Nick's. So.
Oh, you mean
I've had beers with you
career beers. I thought you were talking about today. I was like, geez.
No, but over the life of this space, when they were moving in here, you knew what this was.
I love Timonium Racetrack. I love being out here. I love Costas. It's like 2 of my favorite things.
I got a shirt today. I got tenure today.
I can sit out here with my daughter Cece during the state fair. I've got a Ferris wheel. I got funnel cake over there. All she wants to do is sit out here and watch the horses. She wants to sit out here and watch the horses run. She doesn't want to do what other kids do, you know. She wants to.
We got ponies everywhere here. I mean, we got racetrack, the OTB.
The space is so cool, and you know, like.
Have you been here since it remodeled?
No, this is it.
Oh, first time in.
I was telling my good buddy.
Okay, so what give the impression of this? You got a Costas wall back here, right?
It's gorgeous. Yeah, they've done such a great job with the space. The crab dip was unbelievable. I had Cece had a crab cake. I was able to share her crab cake, and.
Well, I got to let you go golf at some point, so we got to make some sense here. We're going to do politics. Is that
your choice?
That today?
Yeah, I mean, I'll go politics. Politics are fun.
Let me say something then.
Go ahead.
All right, because tell me what you do for a living, because I want you to promote what you do, because it's going to lead into my story, because my story is a Dundalk story.
We are Blondell, Miller, and Schuler injury lawyers. We're right on Eastern Avenue, as you know, right in the heart of Essex.
Been there long before you were there.
Been there long before our business has been an entity right there for 50 years. And some people have worked there for 50 years. It's pretty amazing. But we do.
Mark's worked there almost 40.
Mark is 40 close if not 40 years for
right.
sure.
And he now owns the firm, you guys, right? He's the Miller, my friend, my childhood friend.
But we do car crashes. We do any type of case where somebody has been injured, you know, and what really separates us, we think, is that, you know, we put stuff in suit. We legitimately get referrals from other law firms when it's time to put something in suit. When it's time to put something in suit, the other law firms that maybe advertise bigger and better than us, they call us and they send us the cases, and we handle the litigation. Mark and I are no strangers to the courtroom, and that gets our clients significantly better results than these guys that take your case and whatever.
Well, I know this. If I got in a car accident, God forbid, you would be my first phone call.
I appreciate
right? I mean, yeah, it would have to
we
be,
would
right?
have to be. I would hope so, like.
What happens when, I don't want to talk you into the river and that, but, like, I get sideswiped, and, I see awful things out here people doing on the highway. I don't need to tell you that, right? Like, every day, it's perilous just getting from Timonium back to my house. But something happens, you're on the side of the road, you want me to take pictures?
I want you to take pictures. I'll tell you a story.
I've learned enough to say take pictures. I just want to get this right, get the steps right.
So I got a case in Salisbury that I just settled. I just settled it for $200,000, and my client and the other driver told vastly different stories. My client told a story 3 lanes going through, and car cuts out in front of my client, and he rear ends her. Now the other individual says that she's in the middle lane, and that stopped at a red light, and then my client hit her. Well, he took pictures. And so I can see the skid marks in the right lane, number one, right? That punches a hole in her story. Also, I can see a Staples in the background. So I know they're across the street from Staples. So when I pull up Google Maps, she says she's sitting at a red light. There's not a red light for a mile down the road from where you're sitting at Staples. And so taking pictures is an incredible, it tells the story. A picture's worth 1,000 words.
Oh, right,
Come on.
yeah. Except if it's Epstein.
Except for it's Epstein.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Try to tell a radio guy a picture's worth 1,000 words, right? But yeah, the picture tells the story. So Epstein, that's the funny part of politics, right? Epstein, right?
The picture's not worth anything.
Yeah, the whole thing about how much did people put aside about this guy because he was the righteous guy who was going to bring this whole Epstein ring down, and count me amongst the group that probably thinks there wasn't as much there, as I don't necessarily know that there was some big master list or whatever, but the fact that he pulled the rug out.
The master list would be the phone records of who was getting on the plane and who wasn't getting. That's
Sure.
the list. That is a list.
But
that does exist.
Yeah, but it's probably more boring than we would think it is.
Well,
but
it's probably a lot of rich people. Probably a lot of rich people we've never heard of. We
Sure.
should hear of, right?
Right. That's probably what it is, right? If we're being honest. But the conspiracy theory that drove him to office was that it's going to take down the Clintons and it's going to take down, and all of a sudden he comes out at the press conference. He goes, "Why are we still talking about this guy Epstein?" You got to be kidding me, dude.
You were the one talking about it.
You were the one talking about it. And so now it kind of looks like your name's on the list. Just saying, right? And your buddy, the Tesla dude, is kind of making those accusations.
I'm a regular guy. I didn't go to 10 years of law school like you at Tulane and come back and practice and run with these frauds in government who lie back and forth. But there is an honor part of being a lawyer that's the whole point of court. That's where the bullshit ends.
The
right?
bullshit
That's
ends.
where the bullshit ends. That's where when you're on the phone calling Georgia and trying to find votes, the level of corruption and what. Look, I had Leonard Raskin here a minute ago. He handles my money, but when we get into this, the level of fiction that people that are willing to believe fiction or watch Fox News, we're in two completely different Americas here, where this guy, the reason we think he's being treated like a king is he's being treated like a king.
Well,
The amount of go ahead.
The assault is
My
on.
head's going to explode like scanners.
The assault is on the law. The assault is on journalism.
Judges.
And the assault is on education. Those are the 3 things that are powerful enough to stop bullshit, right? We learn at universities. We learn through the spread of information in journalism, right? The bullshit stops in the courtroom. The law is the law.
The facts, the pictures, the evidence,
if
right?
you want to roll like a king, you got to get rid of those 3 things. Those 3 things are way too devastating for king rule, So, absolutely, and you see the assault. They don't like the truth.
people taking pictures in front of Alligator Alley signs. I mean, we're just at a whole different level of mean. And this is where I wanted to bring it from Essex to Dundalk. Todd Schuler's here. We're here. We're not in Dundalk. We're in Timonium at a Dundalk institution, the new Costas. They do not have crabs here, but they have crab everything else. I just had a delicious, man, that crab cake was great. Get a crab cake at Costas for crying out loud. Last week I was at the Heritage Fair in Dundalk. And I was there on Friday night, 7 o'clock, when Todd wasn't there, but Johnny Ray was there, and Johnny Von Tron was there from the county, and Kathy Kloss-Meyer's people, and they were doing the dedications, and they shouted me out, thank you, fellas, I appreciate it, Eric and Mark and those guys who kept the fair together. And they welcomed on the stage the Mahoney Brothers. And you've seen the Mahoney Brothers. We've all seen the Mahoney.
Absolutely.
I thought the Mahoney Brothers did nothing but Beatles, but it turns out that they're modern. They're doing Chicago. They do a whole bunch of different things beyond just the Beatles.
I've technically only ever seen the Beatles act.
They're a Beatles
yes.
act to me, but they're more than that. Beach Boys do a lot of stuff, right? So they open a show, and one of their guys gets in the Neil Diamond red sequin top, from Jazz Singer, right?
It does it Coming to America. No.
They open with it. They open.
Yeah.
Bum, 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 bum,
That was
far.
the patriotic song of the 80s. Now it's like controversial. He did
I don't
it
know
on
that
purpose.
it's controversial.
If you listen to the lyrics, it sure is, like Coming to America. What
Free.
are you talking about?
Only want to be free. They come into America today. So
How
this,
we have fallen,
this
huh?
is the Statue of Liberty welcoming everyone, and I'm out there, and the old cougars are out there in Dundalk dancing, and I'm singing every word. I could sing every word right now because I love that song.
I could
right?
too. That reminds me like
And
every
I'm looking
bull roast of my
around,
childhood.
and I'm looking at the people, and there's a bunch of old folks in red hats and all this MAGA, and they had Trump Raven jerseys, Trump 47. I don't need to tell you work in Essex, but so I'm in Dundalk seeing all this, and meanwhile, like when I walked around the fair, everywhere I went, there were more people that looked like me than look like you.
Right.
And
no offense.
no offense to you or me, but they were habling a lot of that Espanol.
Absolutely.
In and around the fair. And before that song was over, I was almost like the Indian with the trash in the water.
Yep.
And I had a tear in my eye, and I'm thinking, I thought I was white all those years in Dundalk. When I grew up with your partner, Mark Miller, you couldn't have convinced me that I wasn't.
You never knew, right?
Like, I never
knew how
knew
you'd be
that
treated.
my father, being born in Venezuela, would make me subjected to the thought that alligators could be taking me or my brother, who was born in Venezuela and has lived here now for 25 years and is an American citizen and has a business and has 2 children in Florida and a wife. They both were born in Venezuela in a community of Kissimmee that is all Venezuelan.
Right.
My son lives in your neighborhood over in Essex, Dundalk, in the house I grew up in. And my son said to me about a month and a half ago, he was at Costas in Dundalk, the night I ran into Johnny O. My son said to me, our neighborhood is like Anne Frank.
I don't doubt it. No. So
And he said, all the shades are pulled down.
we quick Blondell, Miller, and Schuler plug. We do have full-time Spanish-speaking paralegals, and we, advertise to the Spanish-speaking community because it is such a large part of the east side of the Baltimore community. Yeah, people are scared. People are unearthed, like they're not going out.
I'm documented. I was born here.
I'm not sure that matters,
Well, that's the point.
That's the fear.
Can you educate my Republican friends about due process and the fact that because you're not a citizen here doesn't mean that we blindfold you, take you away, and put you in a camp?
It's fascinating to me. And it is strictly a fear-based thing. There's no law. The due process is guaranteed by the Constitution. You have to charge me with a crime. You have to you have to put me in a jury in front of my peers. All this you got the pickup trucks that say "We the people." I think they think that that's the only 3 words, right? But there's a lot of good stuff in there, and it guarantees people a right to a trial, and it guarantees people a right to freedom, and it definitely guarantees people the right to not be plucked off the street by somebody in no mask. Show me a badge. Show me a warrant. What are we talking about here? This is America. This is insanity.
Yeah. I mean, when I hear you say it in a 60-second soundbite, it's outrageous that gang members with guns are jumping out of vans and abducting 20-year-old women who are college students in California. That's insane.
What it is, frankly, is corrupting the FBI is probably a more difficult task than they thought it might be, right? Like they can put your Cash Patel in there and you can, get charges against James Comey and all this crazy stuff. But by and large, FBI agents are extraordinarily professional law enforcement officers. And so instead of trying to corrupt the FBI, we just create a brute force and fund them with this bill that, right?
Well, what about the bill? I mean, you did a lot of bills down in Annapolis, right? You're no stranger to the bills, right?
No stranger to
or the
bill.
taxes or any of that. I mean, give everybody your background because I don't. You're my buddy Todd. You're the lawyer guy, the ambulance chaser, all that stuff. But you sat in government in a big, big way, and went to school for this stuff. Sort of like Johnny O went to school for this stuff.
I was with Johnny O, and he called me after he did your show. Actually,
how'd that turn out for him?
He said it was great. He said he had a good time over here. But he just called, because he knows you and I are buddies and everything. And I told him because we went in together. He actually went in about a year earlier than me. But we, by and large, went in together. We were roommates in Annapolis, right? And 4 years later, I'm a private citizen. I'm no longer, he goes on, he's county executive. And so there was a time when I was like, Johnny, your star was rising, and I dropped out. I was basically nobody, And then COVID hit, and I was like, yeah, I'm not jealous of Johnny anymore. And I'm definitely not jealous now. Who would want to be a U.S. congressman? That's got to be terrible aggravation. I had fun. We hung out with Republicans, Democrats, conservatives, the black guys, the white guys, the Prince George's
You were
County,
trying
the
to make
Harford
the
County.
state better.
We were
You
trying
were
to make
have
the state
the
better.
debate over what to do with our money to make life better in the land of pleasant living. That's the job, right?
And so were the people that I disagreed with. There's not a person that I can think of from my time in Annapolis that wasn't exactly that way. Even the fire-breathing Republicans, we all hung out together and we all looked for solutions together. And frankly, I did tell Johnny this when he first went in, you're kind of uniquely situated because I'm not even sure the state of Maryland has ever had that cool vibe that we had when we were delegates together. Like, we really all were one, divided in a whole bunch of different ways, but we were working for a common goal. And I'm like, you're going into a toxic environment, D.C., potentially your experience, and I'm
well,
talking
the last
about
guy
Johnny's,
there had the walls caving in, and all of these morons trying to hurt people and coming in on January 6th. They're now out of prison at the hands of this clown.
Absolutely.
They might be the ones wearing the mask jumping out of the cars.
They may very well be, but the Johnny factor, I don't think you can go out to have a couple of beers with somebody from the different party.
I asked him that. I said that to him the other day. I said, how do you go to Marjorie Greene Taylor and have any sort of conversation?
I bet people are trying to catch each other on hot mics, I talked
Gotcha
to so-and-so.
moments and all
that. Yeah, he confided in me, hey, I don't really like this, but I'm voting for it because, or I'm trying, making a sausage is no easy business, the strange belt.
The honor's gone.
I think the
honor is absolutely gone when you're willing to storm the Capitol and they're not willing to imprison the guy who did it the next day.
Right.
Donald Trump should have been under a prison on January 7th. Literally, a complete dereliction of duty in every capacity, and it was staged by him and his people.
100%.
And now they're running the country. We're expecting things to get better? I'm not.
No,
I'm really not.
Things
are going to get a lot worse.
But going back to the honor of it all, you don't have to worship people and put them on a pedestal, big deal. But you were talking to Steve Ross about it. You're at your radio station, you're putting opinions out there and entertainment. People call and threaten you, and people call and talk all this mean, the people. Put your name on a ballot, put your name, put yourself on the radio, put yourself out there, instead of just you're bad because and frankly that right.
The level of understanding of the humanity part of the immigration issue in this country, when I get these morons that don't understand, when I look at that plate over there and I see the lettuce on there and the lemon on there and the cheese on there and the bread on there and the butter on there and the crab cake on there, I know one thing. The crab cake was picked by someone from Mexico
100%.
on the eastern shore of Maryland, because that's Maryland meat here. Because we don't eat the cheat meat that they have over the other end of Dundalk that I heard about. Did you hear about that one?
No.
Yeah, I'll tell you about that one later. It involves a non-sponsor related Dundalk institution that serves, fake cake, as it were. So everything on that plate there, what percentage of that between the time that became a piece of bread from when it was in the field was touched by an immigrant or an undocumented? Let's just go with undocumented for the sake of argument of who needs to be thrown out of the country versus the beautiful women I met over in the Eastern Shore who picked the crab meat out on an H-2B visa that I've talked with Dutch and Chris Van Hollen and would talk to Andy Harris about, but he's apparently a deaf mute.
Can't find him.
Can't find him. He's a coward. So even though it's his district where all this is going on, right? I know the crab meat that I ate was picked by, before it went to the kitchen here, and I don't know who's in the kitchen here and what their ethnicity is here. I just don't know. I don't care. Right? But these people that want undocumented immigrants thrown out of the country don't want to eat breakfast, lunch, or dinner because there's nothing that's touched their lips in the last 25 years. They haven't had a meal that wasn't put together at the hands of undocumented workers. And you know where I really learned this? When I drove the fields up in Maine, the wild Maine blueberry fields, and I saw these little dog houses out in the middle of miles and miles and miles of wild Maine blueberry fields. And the little dog houses are where the people that pick my blueberries live and sleep.
And
you want to throw those people out of the country. And you want your acai wild Maine blueberry when you're down Ocean City this weekend, right?
And add the
Where do you
layer.
think this stuff comes from? Dude?
Add the layer of celebrating your Italian heritage and your Irish heritage and your Polish heritage and all the stories of struggle of the folks that your grandparents.
But the Heritage Fair is not for you if you're not a real American. Right, that's insane.
We're in a bad
spot.
Insane. And we could do better. We could do so much better, Nestor.
We have done better.
We're going to do better.
That's how I got here.
Yes.
You're right? I mean, I'm son of an immigrant.
Yeah,
right?
Coming to America, baby.
Yeah, on the boats and on the planes. He is Todd Schuler. I gotta let you. I wanted you to do like an hour with me, but you.
This is what we did. Gold.
What a golf
22
game,
minutes.
man!
I know. I got to take my.
How is your daughter so tall at 12? What's she going to be, 7 feet tall? She's going to play ball, right?
She's a volleyball player, and she just got back from Penn State. I wish she was here.
I don't know. She went around eating a crab cake.
Penn State volleyball camp and got to meet the national championship volleyball team. It was super cool. She did it this week.
All right. Well, I want you to do well. I wish we spent more time. Is there anything else you want to say about America or how far we have to go or how people could rewire themselves? We need a rewiring of this country. I mean, I don't know what else to say when I'm 9 years into watching this fraud con man, this liar, this felon hoodwink people who think that you can't get over on them. That's the amazing part is I'm watching this and I'm like, what a part of this, what can be appealing beyond racism? What part of it?
We're going to do better. That's the whole point is we're going to do just fine. We've weathered the storm before. We've gotten through nastiness.
You told me that last time, and since then I've had to make jokes with Mickey Coachella that he's put me on his show to set me up for an ice call.
That sounds like him.
He's broadcasting from Dundalk these days, right?
Yeah, is he?
Yeah,
right.
you're up the street from you.
All right.
Give me your phone number. Damn good lawyer.
DamnGoodLawyer.com, 410-687-7878. Give us a call.
I hope Paul Masano's hears this one. We are out here at Costas Inn. We're in Timonium. I'm cutting it a little short with this guy because we're getting a little chippy here on the weekend, and he's got a golf game. I don't have any golf. I don't have any class. I don't have anything I have to worry about. It's all brought to you by the Maryland Lottery. Back to the Future Scratch-Offs. We're going to be at 1623 Brewing in beautiful Eldersburg on Wednesday. Next Friday, we're going to have some coffee. We're going to have coffee talk. We're going to be at Zeke's. We're going to be with deposed cartoonist Kevin Gallagher from the Baltimore Sun, deposed columnist Dan Rodricks from the Sun, and my power sig, artist to the stars, cartoonist to the stars. We're going to be up the street from Coco's. We're going to be at Zeke's. Coco's crab cake will be had probably the day after, though. And by the way, it's peach cake season, so just
a peach cake.
act,
Eat a peach.
Act accordingly. That's all I
right.
can say. Golf is out. I am in. I am Nestor. We are WNST, AM 1570, Towson, Baltimore. Back for more right after this. We're Baltimore Positive. Stay with us.